Hey guys, today I'll be giving some tips on how to win a war, so let's jump into it. First off, right here I see 10 units of Venezuela near the coast of Cuba. I knew he was invading him, so I sent out a single destroyer to check it out and see if there were units, and I hit the jackpot. So then I saw a naval contact, so I waited, I engaged, and I saw he was inactive, so I engaged it. If he was active, I wouldn't have engaged it since he could still hit me. Right here I'm sending my strike fighters to hit his units. Before I declare war, I did some patrolling, so I knew exactly where their units were. And right in this case they were in the top provinces. So I sent my strike fighters to get them. I noticed Colombia was online and he sent his units out. So my teammate told me to only hit the top stack, but I read that too late, so I hit all of them. Right here I think I killed one infantry. And I'm gonna just start chipping down that big stack right there. I also sent a destroyer down to San Jose to check that out. Since there were two airfields right there, I had to attack them both. So first I attacked the one that I can reach with my planes. Then I hit the one with my destroyer, so they couldn't send their air superiority fighters. And pretty soon enough I will notice that Peru is also online, so he sent his units to Merida. I immediately knew Colombia was sending them to my capital, since it goes in a straight line. So the first few moves you can already see where they're going. So I'm just right here, I notice Peru is active, so I'm trying to chip down his units so my Free National Guards and Merida can defend. I also send my air superiority fighter to patrol over their airfield to make sure there's no more troops incoming. Once my planes hit, I'll send them back to Colombia to try and chip them down, since I don't have that much air defense. Right here I noticed Peru sent in four units via air, so I try and intercept them with my air superiority fighters. I also noticed they started bombing me in Cuba, so I went and retreated that later on. Here I saw more units. At this point I already kinda knew I lost the war, but I still wanted to fight them. Try and weaken them for my teammates. My teammates are in Europe and in Africa, so they can't help me. Right there I defeated his units that were coming in via air. Because they were in air, I got a huge buff to my attack range. Right here I retreated my ship, or at least tried to. Even if you lose HP, it doesn't matter, since you're fighting a battle you won't win, you always want to retreat. Unless it's impossible to get out of, then you don't want to retreat, but in this case it was too far away for them to chase me. Here I saw they were bombarding El Puco, so I sent my destroyer from San Jose to attack that one. My ally Greece wasn't online at the time, so he couldn't send his planes into trying to help me. One thing that I did not do in this battle, but you always should try and do, is try and ground their planes. So time it when they're refueling. You want to attack them while they're refueling, so they will get stuck on the ground and they can't move anywhere. So you basically got them stuck. I normally use strike fighters for that, since they're pretty easy to maneuver with, and you can easily get around air superiority fighters. Here I'll keep trying and chipping away that stack heading for my capital, so I can weaken it enough to form my mainland defenses. Here I also send my ship a bit back, so so his destroyers would take longer to reach my destroyer. Here I gave up on Merida, since I noticed there was no way I could defend it. So I demolished every building there, and I moved my units out of there. I also built a combat outpost in the province next to my capital, since I can get a huge boost with my defensive bonuses. And my artillery is also better in mountains. Since he's a higher ranking, he did not fall for it, but most people will, because if they're inactive, they will definitely still go for the outpost. It's really cheap, and it's built in 15 minutes. Also, try and use the patrol feature for planes when you're hitting a ground stack. Use your patrol feature, since you can hit from further away and you don't need to use your attack button. But I kinda knew already that I lost, since Colombia had 20 units going for my capital. I also saw more units coming in from Peru side through the airfield, but there wasn't really much I could do. I asked my teammates to send help. They sent their fighters, but they couldn't arrive in time. It was 2 hours and they didn't make it. But when you're not going solo, you always want to make sure you're kind of close to your teammates so they can actually send help. So if I'm going in, for example, I'm going Mexico again, you would probably need someone like Canada, because you don't want someone right next to you. You want someone that's a little bit further away so you can get some land. So in my case, I want Canada as a teammate, maybe Argentina, that's also a good country. So we can both still expand, but you don't need to be right next to them. They can still stand and help. My teammates here were Angola, Serbia, and Greece, I think, and another one was in Asia, but he died early on, so yeah, that didn't work out. I also keep trying to engage their units in sea, since I have destroyers, so I'll try and hit and run with them, but since Colombia was inactive right now, I could just bombard his task force. I did not know how many it was, I just know it was multiple, since it said task force. Here I noticed he sent his destroyers back, so I retreated my destroyer to make sure it didn't die. I had to let his troops go, since it's not worth to lose my destroyer over a few extra units killed. Here I tried maybe hit and running the destroyer of theirs, but I noticed too late, so I couldn't do it in time. As you can see, I still have 4 units left to go, but I knew there was still a 10 stack behind it, so after I saw that, I kinda gave up on the game, since there was no possible way. I tried retreating my units out of the US, but that didn't work out. I only had a few National Guards left since Canada and the US full sent me in the early game. I think they had around maybe 20 units in my homeland, so but I recovered. Maybe one mistake of mine was not keeping enough units in my homeland, since that did not help me at all. I knew they were gonna attack me, but I just couldn't be bothered to send more units down. That was kind of the main problem right there. Since I couldn't defend, I could only chip away their units with my strike fighter. And this is the point where I gave up.